Hello and welcome to the Flipped Collaborate for EDU 2004, Theories of Teaching and Learning, some information on assignment 2, our essay. Let's have a look at this together. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge our country. We respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of lands across Australia, their elders, ancestors, cultures and heritage. So our assignment, we finished assignment 1, we're moving to assignment 2, which is an essay, a descriptive essay on learning modes, and it's due Monday of week 8. We've got a word limit of 2,000 words, plus or minus 10%, and our weighting is 50%. Please don't be overwhelmed by our weighting of 50%. We've got lots of supports here to help you, and hopefully you'll be encouraged by your work that you did in A1, knowing that those grades contribute to your unit total. So let's look at the descriptive essay title. Describe 2 different modes of learning and how they align with contemporary education theories and inform the work of teachers. Right, let's have a little look at this. So when we head into our assignment details, we see our essay title there, and then it says, this essay requires you to work through a number of stages which are outlined in your weekly learning materials and learning group discussions during the planning and writing of your assignment. It is helpful to use the following steps to approach the development of the essay. So they've been very kind to us, our learning designers and our content writers. They've given us a little bit of a roadmap to follow. So in our 2,000 words, you'll find the details of what needs to be covered here. So we are going to head towards our criteria to make sure that we cover everything, but this is a little bit of a breakdown of it. Sometimes 2,000 words can be a little bit overwhelming, so have a little look here and it will help you out. So we've got our essay introduction, so it tells us here to set the scene, a bit of a background information. A really strong opening statement would be good there. Try and refrain from opening with this essay will. Try and give us a bit of a statement, a bit of a inspiring or a quote or something like that. We'll give you some examples in the brainstorm session. So have a really good introduction, and in there you're going to talk about a brief overview of the 2 learning modes and theories that you'll be working on. Have a look through your essay main points. So here it shows us where our focus is on the theories. We're going to look at the benefits and limitations of each theory, what they represent, the key theorists and some concepts. So this is part A. There's part B. We'll just move along to have a look at that. Continuing on, it said it would be useful to use the 2 theories as headings. So headings aren't always a component of essays. However, with this, it's recommended that you make use of headings. It would just help you present your information so that your reader can follow along easily. And then we talk about linking your discussion to the practice of teaching, what it looks like in the classroom setting. We're going to link to the wider context. So we're going to look at other complex issues that impact on this. And then we've got a really strong conclusion. So in your descriptive essay, we'd like to hear what you found out. So you're looking into the body of knowledge and you're telling us what you know about these learning modes and about these theories. And then you're going to tell us what are your conclusions. So you might be telling us which ones that you feel like are more successful in the classroom or why, or the ones that should be more widely adopted by educators. So make sure you have a conclusion. So you need to choose your theories. Where will you start for this? So we need to consider 2 theories from the learning materials. You can see weeks 4 to week 10 there. It's a little outline of the ones that we've covered in our weekly materials and our discussions. And I've just popped here, it can be a good idea to choose 2 theories that have a number of differences. This way you can discuss and therefore demonstrate your understanding of different ideas, concepts and approaches. So it would be quite tricky if you chose a couple of theories that are quite similar. It would make it a little bit easier for you to demonstrate your understanding if you chose a couple that were quite different. Okay, so essay writing, it does take time to develop skills such as setting up the essay with an introduction, using paragraphs and linking these, closing the essay with a conclusion. So we've got, again, a Padlet, and there's lots of support materials in the Padlet, and the student portal resources are all there for you, and there's a number of ones that are specific to essay writing. So essay planning is really important. This is really where you should spend an awful lot of your time. This is where, if you've got any questions, you can share it to with your ELA in the Q&A board. But basically, you need to have a little roadmap for yourself of where you're going. So when we just went through the assignment details, part A and part B in the slides, I would consider that a little bit of a checklist myself. Printed out, I'm a bit of a paper person, and each time that I've covered something, make sure I give it a tick, just like you will with the criteria in the rubric. And so that will be your little roadmap of how to complete your essay. And planning will help your essay go to a higher grade. So this is a quick look at our rubric. So I've just put the pass descriptor in here. So make sure you're familiar with our entire rubric. This is the pass, and then obviously we move up with complexity and insight as we move up the descriptor levels. So this is what it takes to get a pass. So we're looking for an introduction and to the topic and content. We'd like some paragraphs. A key idea in each paragraph is a good idea. We need to know about the learning modes and theories that you're covering. You're going to draw connections to the wider context. So we've got the theoretical, broader societal and educational context. Use of relevant scholarly and non-scholarly literature. Citation. So referencing is a little bit tricky, give it a go, and you'll find that every step that you take makes it a little bit easier. And then your language skills. So that's our pass descriptor. Make sure that you look through the higher levels if you're interested in a higher grade. And plagiarism. So I've just popped this here. We've got a service that helps out, so you can see when you've used other people's work just to check that you've cited it properly. Therefore you can avoid plagiarism. So you head into the assignments tab in Canvas, and then there's an option under assignments of originality report submission, and you can use that as many times as you like, and it lets you know your percentage. We've also got our support services of Studiosity. So this is our draft writing feedback service. So you can use this, and you can use this for 2 drafts each teaching period. So you might find that essays are a really good one to use for this. And please note that usually there's a feedback of about 24 hours, and sometimes it can be a little bit busy right towards the end of the teaching period or just before assignments are submitted. So that's what the page looks like when you'll be using Studiosity. So this just shows you it's open from week 2. It is definitely suitable for essays. So they will give you feedback on your structure, choice of language, spelling and grammar, referencing. So these are tutors, and they're not familiar with our unit content, but they help you with you presenting your ideas and your concepts. And it says here it's usually 24 hours, and as I said, sometimes it can be a little bit longer. Okay, so where to now? You're going to head over to our assignment 2 information and make sure you find the rubric with the detailed criteria, because this is what your essay will be graded against. So that will be your one-stop shop. When you've finished, as you're working through it, even as you're doing your research, have this next to you so you know exactly what you need to do. We've got a very generous word count here. However, you do need to make sure that everything that you put in your essay works towards your word count and meeting the assignment brief. What else can you do? Take note of the brainstorm and question and answer live collaborate sessions coming up and attend whichever one suits you best. Just remember to have this assignment in mind as you complete the readings over the coming weeks. Make note of any theories that you would like to cover for A2. There might be some ones that you're interested in, some ones you might be a little bit familiar with or have piqued your interest. So that might help you choose your theories, and head to the Padlet as well as your A2 Q&A thread to ask any questions of your ELA. So let's just quickly head over to our Padlet. I'll just move this over here so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. So this is what our Padlet looks like this time around. Again, it's chock full of questions. Questions and answers. Let's pull all the way over here. So again, we've started with our flipped collaborate session. Just going to put the link in there. This is all the types of support we can give you. So you're listening to the flipped collab. We're going to have our live collabs, our brainstorm and our Q&A ones. Also, we've got all of our links. I'll pop them in there. How to get to all of our collaborate sessions. Our frequently asked questions. So these are some bits and pieces that you might take note of right at the beginning. So we definitely want third person for academic writing. This person's asked, do I explore a theory or a theorist? So we do focus on the theories. You can definitely include information on key theorists, but make sure you focus on the approach. How many references do I need? Lots of information there. Across here, support for your writing and research, so there's a handy resource there, and an info sheet with some of the theories that we cover in our unit, and then all of our other little bits and pieces over here. So our student resources on the portal, help on using Google Scholar, that might be helpful to you guys. This is quite important. There's a video tutorial on how to use the Swinburne Library. A lot of your time in this assignment will be researching. So if you want to make best use of your time, it's a great idea to follow that tutorial. And that's it. So I'm going to head back to my dashboard. So the next thing you're going to do, people, is head into Theories of Teaching and Learning, Assignments. Scroll down to assignment 2, and here's all of the information that we've just covered. There we go. So you can see we've got our assignment 2 details, our overview, our criteria, everything that you could need is in there. So good luck, everyone. I know that this is quite a big task, but remember, you've got lots of support out there for people to help you, and we would love to help you. So please do get in touch with your ELA on your Q&A lounge. Thank you.